Here's a reading that I did in the show in Maitland that I was invited to participate in with Catherine Yule and Kevin. Thank them for inviting me. It's called Silent Night. It's extracts from Christmas Truce, Western Front, 1914, by Malcolm Brown and Shirley Seaton, and Silent Night, the story of World War I Christmas Truce by Stanley Weintraub. On Christmas Eve 1914, the brutal war that gripped Europe halted spontaneously, with both sets of soldiers observing a small window of peace. More than 100,000 soldiers on the battlefield of Belgium and France reportedly laid down their arms and advanced into no man's land to converse with the enemy. Details and scale of the truce remain a point of contention for historians. However, the accounts of the day, taken from the journals and diaries of those who were there, provide an insight into the event as haunting as it is moving. How the Christmas Truce began, and I quote, "It was a beautiful moonlit night, frost on the ground, white almost everywhere. And about 7 or 8 in the evening, there was a lot of commotion in the German trenches, and there were these lights. I don't know what they were, and they sang Silent Night, Stille Nacht. I shall never forget it. It was one of the highlights of my life. I shouted to our enemies that we didn't wish to shoot and that we make a Christmas truce. I said I would come from my side and we could speak with each other. First, there was silence. Then I shouted once more, invited them, and the British shouted, 'No shooting.' Then a man came out of the trenches, and I, on my side, did the same, and we came together and shook hands, a bit cautiously. I don't know if we had breakfast that morning. I suppose we did. We had a drink. Everything was peaceful, and eventually one of the Germans held up a card with Merry Christmas written on it, and come on over the top. Everyone was dubious in our trench, saying kind of, should we or shouldn't we? Then eventually we decided, well, they haven't got any rifles on them, and we went over. What a sight. Little groups of Germans and British extending almost the length of our front. Out of the darkness we could hear laughter and see lighted matches. A German lighting a Scotsman's cigarette, and vice versa, exchanging cigarettes and souvenirs. A single star stood in the sky directly above them and was interpreted by many as a special sign. More and more joined, and the entire line greeted each other. Climbing the parapet, I saw a sight which I shall remember to my dying day. Right along the whole of their line were hung paper lanterns and illuminations of every description, many of them in such positions as to suggest they were hung upon Christmas trees. At daylight on Christmas Day, we went halfway and met the Germans and exchanged cigars and cigarettes with one another. Eventually, the English brought a soccer ball from their trenches, and pretty soon a lively game ensued. How marvelously wonderful, yet how strange it was. The English officers felt the same way about it. I fired 3 shots into the air and put up a flag with Merry Christmas on it, on the parapet. He, a German, put up a sheet with Thank you on it. And the German captain appeared on the parapet. We both bowed, we saluted, we got down into our respective trenches. He fired 2 shots into the air, and the war was on again.